Hello, welcome back everyone. So this is game 3, actually game 3 this time. Fourth game I've covered between Saved by Him and Mole now, but game 3 now, because of course the first one didn't count. So for game 3 they're doing bidding with just action tokens, no dwarven rings. If those haven't come up for you before, then don't worry about it. So they do bidding this time, and they go up to 5 tokens. Mole offers him 5 anyway. I will admit I was very curious to see how this would go anyway, because of course in me and Saved by Him's game 3, he offered me 6 tokens, and I took that. And as it is obvious, that didn't turn out so well for me. So this time he changes it up a little bit by accepting 5 tokens when it's offered to him. So I think being a little unpredictable like that is pretty smart, because if you go up to the exact same number every time, then people will just know that number, and then they'll get the most tokens available or push you to just past that number. So changing it up is smart anyway. It means people don't know exactly what to expect coming up against you. So anyway, Saved by Him is playing as Free Peoples with 5 tokens, so he picked 3 muster ones, is what he said. So this Dwarven Ring here is actually a muster token. And obviously the 2 mustering ones are a muster token, and this Flying Nazgul will also be a draw card one. And Mole is playing as a Shadow player. So starting with the Scouts and Challenge of the King, and a Swarm of Bats and Nazgul Strike. So 0 eyes committed, and 0 rolled against 3 movement. Wow, okay, so this is already a little reminiscent of their last game. Their last game started with a bunch of free movement for Saved by Him, and yet still ended in a shocking and brutal and swift corruption victory. So, anyway, Isengard to war. Armies are moving. Armies move some more. Fellowship moves, of course. Armies keep moving. Fellowship keeps moving. Armies keep moving. Yeah, so the pretty standard rushing towards Woodland Realm and Lorien, while the Fellowship runs as fast as it may. Okay, so decide to muster the elves down. Makes sense. Fellowship keeps moving. In comes Saruman, and using a ring to move a 4th time. I think that's pretty reasonable. Like, I'd be tempted to save it for, moving again on a later turn, just to make it more likely to kill Gandalf and get Gandalf the White. But at the same time, it's really hard to say no to 4 free movement on turn 1. So anyway, so turn 2. Okay, Challenge of the King and Dead Men are out. So that's some pretty cool Aragorn stuff that can happen. That being said, when you start with 4 free movement, you kind of just want to go with the Strider Sprint. That feels a lot safer to me anyway. And Fighting Uruk-hai and Grond. Wow, okay, the cards are really throwing down for game 3 here. Okay, so 1 eye in this time, 1 more rolled, and 3 more movement for the Free People. So both moving fast towards their own win conditions here. Okay, so he moves right away and is hit, and it's a 0 reveal. So that is frustrating for sure. And the other 0 reveal from Moria. So no opportunity to kill Gandalf here. Sauron to war. Pass. Armies keep moving. This is a little bit bad news for... Oh, no, this works out okay. Okay, so he can use another muster token to bring the elves 1 step closer to war. Then after 1 is besieged, he can at least put an elite in the other one. Anyway, that's something. Okay. Oh, no, yeah, I guess he doesn't actually have enough attacks to pull all that off anyway. So... Oh, no, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, no, he could besiege all of them. Okay, I guess he was excited to put that regular in the way because he has scouts. But, of course, we can see that the Shadow player has Swarm of Bats. So I think I would have personally rather have mustered the elves down and then gotten that extra elite. But, yeah, here we are. Really? He says no card. Okay, I was really expecting him to play Swarm of Bats here. But, okay, never mind then. So we besiege Lorien, Fellowship hides, besiege Woodland Realm, and the elves are at war. Fellowship moves again, and they're hit again, and now it's a 3, so now Gandalf is dead very efficiently. And, yeah, then he uses the ring to bring in the Witch King with the last die. I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so 2 turns in, both well on their way to their conditions. The Fellowship has moved 6 times, and... the Shadow has Saruman and the Witch King and both Elven Strongholds besieged with only 1 regular to help defend either of them. So, okay, so 1 eye in, 3 more eyes rolled against a couple movements. So that Will of the West is very nice for Saved by Him here. That means he can get Gandalf the White this turn, of course. Fellowship moves first, and they're safe. So that's nice. So he attacks Dale first. I find that interesting. I would have assumed you'd want to Oh, no, right. It's because there's a Man of the North inside Woodland Realm. So if you attack Woodland Realm, the North gets to war. Oh, but the Men of the North are to war. I missed a token muster there at the end. Haha. But yeah, so the North are already to war because a token got used on them. So that is a little bit annoying for Saved by Him that he didn't roll any musters this turn. Because like even one muster would have meant he could have put an elite in Dale before it got attacked, and then it could probably retreat to Erebor. But no musters, and that's certainly not worth spending a Will of the West. Like, maybe that's worth spending a ring on. I probably wouldn't myself. Okay, so now I think that's a Swarm of Bats against Confusion. Yeah, okay. So one hit against not a hit, so that's some very good news bears for the Shadow player. Okay, Saved by Him draws a card with one of them. Southron's Muster Closer to War, draws another strategy card. Southron's finished mustering to war, in comes Gandalf the White. That, I would have been shocked if he hadn't got Gandalf the White there, yeah. Would have been very sad watching Day Without Dawn eat that away. So we're attacking Woodland Realm, strategy card, probably half-orcs for the We Come to Kill. Like, maybe it's, yeah, no, it is Day Without Dawn, he just burns it for that, okay. And he puts 2 hits on it, even though it's against a daylight, and he gets 2 hits. And Saved by Him also gets 2 hits. So he presses. No card, no card. Oh, no, he he rolls one too many dice, and that's the 6. He rolls 1 6, and it's the one that he shouldn't have rolled because he only has 4 leadership, not 5. And 2 hits back from Woodland Realm. So that's, yeah, that's very good stuff for the Free Peoples. Okay, so he plays Imrahil. I think that makes sense. Okay, and he plays Nazgul Strike, pivots Nazgul leadership over towards Lorien. Gets a hit, and it's a 2. Yeah, I think taking 2 makes sense. Like, especially with Athelas in hand. Then you can just, rack up a bit of corruption and then play Athelas, and you're fine. No need to risk losing Strider. Okay, Fearfire Foes and File of Galadriel. There's the other Swarm of Bats. Very nice. So I would chuck Denethor's Folly if it was me. No, he chucked... What did he chuck? I missed it. Oh, well, Grond's still there, so we know it's not that. Okay. So Fellowship declares away from the Nazgul, 1 eye in, 1 more rolled, a couple movement for the Fellowship. So as Free Peoples, I would certainly be excited to get to Mordor this turn. It's possible anyway. Especially with Strider as guide, you can move twice, hide twice if necessary, and then use a ring to move again. Also with these 2 tokens, you can guarantee going last. So, but of course it's a hit and reveal right away, so that is a bummer hummer for sure. Okay, so revealed into Osgiliath. Then we play Grond against Lorien. Oh, right, yeah, Devilry Vorthek is playable there. That makes it nicer to keep. But a whiff on the combat roll, but 2 hits on the leader rerolls this time. So 2 hits back. Swarm of Bats against Sudden Strike. 1 hit for the Shadow player, and 2 hits for the Free Peoples. Round 3, Great Host, that helps. And he gets his 1 hit. That's like 3 rolls in a row where he got a 6 on the last of the 10 dice. It just feels funny to me. Anyway. Okay, so Lorien is successfully conquered by Grond. We still have a problem with Woodland Realm up there in the dew line, but yeah, it helps. Okay, so Fellowship hides. Rerolls placed on them. Fellowship moves again, and they're safe. So I'm a little surprised that he didn't... Well, no, I guess you can't really wait here. Like, in theory, you could use a token to wait to move so that you can avoid Cruel Weather, but that only works when you're 1 spot away. So, anyway. Okay. Okay, troops are moving along. Uses the muster to muster the dwarves down. That makes a lot of sense, because now if that army in East Rune attacks Iron Hills, then the dwarves are rocketed all the way to war, and then they can muster in Erebor, so it kind of forces them to take the long way around. Okay, so yeah, there's the ring to move 1 more time, and they're hit and revealed. So nice, that makes them safe from Cruel Weather. I mean, of course, we know that the Shadow player didn't have Cruel Weather anyway. Okay, so 1 damage and revealed, and there's 2. So now he takes the random. It's Gimli. Okay, I was really worried for him that it was going to be Strider here, and then he wasn't going to get the good Athelas use. Okay, so he moves to Umbar and to Dale, and then he shuffles, the Dwarf Regular into Erebor, into Fords of Isen. Okay, and that army finishes making its way to Woodland Realm to hopefully finish them off. Okay, turn 5, and he's been very efficiently using the tokens. He's down to 1 from his 5, so that makes sense. Yeah, you kind of got to burn them early, because if you hold on to them for 4 turns, like, you don't know if the game is going to last 9 turns, right? Like, it'd feel bad for the game to be over, and there's 3 tokens, and you can only use 1 per turn. So the Fellowship is into Mordor with, I dare say, a pretty healthy start. So they're on 5 health. 5 corruption, but they have 9 hit points to take in Fellowship damage, and the Shadow player is only on 3 points. Very close to 5, though. Like, Woodland Realm could be cracked very easily here. So at this point, I think I'd give the edge to the Free Peoples. But anything can happen, of course. So 1 eye in, 2 more rolled, a couple movements. So Fellowship hides. Out comes the mouth. That always helps. And then we play Athelas first. I think that makes sense. So 2 healing. That's about what you'd expect. Attacks Woodland Realm. Isildur's against Sudden Strike. So the Sudden Strike whiffs, and Isildur's Bane also whiffs, and so do the elves. So just a lot of not hitting going on. It's just a lovely day in the neighborhood of Stormtroopers. Okay, so Shadow presses, and we play Orc Patrol this time, and there's 2 hits. Okay, and just 1 hit back from the elves. So yeah, like we said, there goes Woodland Realm. So Fellowship moves, and it's a 3. That's reasonably pleasant. Okay, takes Pippin as a random. I think you'd rather have seen Legolas or Boromir die there, so that for the sake of being more efficient, but that's still okay. So I'm interested that he moves to Withered Heath with that and not to Dale. Like, why wouldn't you go through Dale so that you could pick up this regular? I guess you want to leave that regular there anyway, just in case Free Peoples musters up in Carrick and comes to try to take it back. Fellowship moves again, and it's a 1 reveal. Yeah, I think just taking it as corruption makes sense. Like, taking a random, like, 1 in 4 of losing Strider, and then you can't hide with that hybrid die, and then losing Legolas or Boromir doesn't feel great there either, so I think that makes a lot of sense. Now we attack Erebor. Now he draws a strategy card. Picking up Dane right there would have been great. Half-Orcs and Goblin Men to strengthen the army. That makes sense. They should have put Dwarves down another step on the track, but that's okay. Probably doesn't make a big difference. Okay, using a ring to play Fighting Uruk-hai here. Whew, and opening with a Deadly Strife. That's nice. So 3 hits. Again, it's 3 hits. Okay. So turn 2, we come to kill against Shield Wall. 1 hit, so it always feels nice rolling 1 hit against a Shield Wall because you demoralize your opponent because their card did nothing. And they roll 1 hit back. Obviously, it's better to roll even more hits, but yeah. I mean, rolling 2 hits makes no difference, but if you rolled 3 or more, then obviously that's better. No card, no hit, no hit. Oh, no, sorry, 1 hit back from Erebor. So he presses again. Does he have... Oh no, all he's got is Morgul Wound, so that doesn't exactly help. Okay, no card, Heroic Death, that makes a lot of sense. Nice, very nice. The Heroic Death, keeping Erebor alive for 1 more turn. Okay, gotta be honest, I'm shocked Erebor survived that after opening with Deadly Strife like that. Okay, so Axe and Bow, that feels nice. Well, I mean, it's okay, it's not... I think like Mithril Code and Sting would be even better here. And Firemir's Rangers, Breaking and Shadows Gather. So he puts in 4 eyes. That's exciting. Yeah, I guess you're worried about the Free Peoples dunking this turn because he has Strider and a ring and 5 dice. So it's certainly possible he could dunk this turn. But if his dice aren't that great, then maybe not, I guess there's also no red tiles in there to pray for either. So maybe you're praying that he just hits like 3 eyes in a row and dies. Can you reasonably threaten getting to 10 points this turn as Shadow? Is also a good question. I think the answer is no. Like, you can take Erebor for sure, and then you're at 7. But then where are your next 3 coming from? Like, there's no Corsairs. This army isn't really that strong, so, like, maybe you just run it Dol Amroth and, like, take Pelargir along the way. Like, if you had enough attacking dice, that's an option. But if you put in 4 eyes, then that's not really an option anymore. Then you've only got 6 dice, so I guess that's still technically possible. Yeah, so hoping for corruption win is reasonable anyway. Like, especially because you have a couple cards to harass them if they do hit an eye. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, so he rolls 2 more eyes, and okay, and Saved by Him rolls 5 movement. So yeah, I think that that helps because with 5 movement he can, like, unless you picked up a red tile he can guaranteed kill off efficiently and run all the way there. But he doesn't have to anymore, though, you know, because there's no way you're getting to 10 points this turn. So if I was saved by him, I would definitely enjoy playing File first and then playing Axe and Bow and then moving. And I would still hurt a lot for sure. Yeah, there's Axe and Bow. Very nice. Picks up a red... picks up a character card, and it's a red tile. That's very nice. That helps a lot. Okay, there's File of Galadriel. Oh, he put in the wrong one, interestingly. Oh, no, it was... Yeah, no, he played the File of Galadriel card and then picked up Smeagol Helps Nice Master. So I hope that wasn't like a game-deciding difference anyway. Okay, then there goes the red tile in. Oh, that's exciting. Okay, so he's... So he didn't hide this turn, so he does need to move once if he's going to, you know, not eat one corruption for free. But at the same time... Yeah, I think it makes sense to save your movement for the last movement of the turn. And this way you're at least, you know, forcing your opponent to spend this muster defensively instead of offensively, using the mouth to attack with it. Okay. So he goes ahead and musters. And now he moves the Fellowship, and it is an eye. So that hurts a lot. That is 6 damage. So you can take Axe and Bow, and you can take Strider, but then it's still 2 more damage. So what I was going to say is I think... I can't remember if I said it or not. I think waiting to move till the end might have made more sense, just because then you're using that tempo advantage to guarantee he can't play anything nasty like Breaking or Morgul Wound. Whereas now, of course, he can. So watch Breaking pull a 3 right here. That would be absolutely devastating. No, you go, okay, Morgul Wound also makes sense. Okay, and then the Fellowship hides. Okay, so now he needs to take 2 more steps next turn and not die. Which is certainly possible. Like, it's not that scary of a hunt pool. But yeah, anything can happen. Of course, he could also just pick up, you know, Candles of Corpses and roll 4/5/4 and just assassinate him in one shot. That is also a thing that could happen. 3 eyes in, I think that makes a lot of sense. Okay, blessedly, he already knows that Day Without Dawn is gone. So then you have to ask the question. So let's see, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dice. Could he get to 10 points this turn? I think the answer is still no. That's like maybe if he has Corsairs. Even then, that's like pushing it. Because like 1 to get Erebor, 1 to move, 1 to play Corsairs. Then you got 4 more dice. And then like 1 to take it. And then like 2 more to go get Pelargir. So like it's possible if he has Corsairs. I guess maybe it's possible with New Powers Rising. You might be able to go get Helm's Deep. I think I would play Bilbo's Song first here just because I'd be scared of Candles Without Corpses. I have Candles of Corpses. Yeah, there's Bilbo's Song first. Very nice. He tries to attack Helm's Deep, but he does not have an adjacent army, so that doesn't quite work. He attacks Erebor, cycling a character card. I think that makes a lot of sense. Cycles Ring Wraiths are abroad. Okay, so definitely giving up on a military win, because that would have been a very useful card this turn. So he gets his 1 hit and 1 hit back against him, and he cycles into Nazgul Search, which does not help at all. So then he moves forward and hits another eye. So that's 3R this time. So he naturally loses Legolas and puts Boromir up front. And now he plays Breaking. Yeah, I think you got to play Breaking here and hope for, you know, not an eye. I guess since 2 eyes just left, it's not that likely. The 3 would get good value anyway. So that would be something. The 1s would be okay too. And he pulls the 3. Okay, yeah, that's good value, all right. No, not +1 corruption. He hopefully asks for +1 corruption, but no, it's just you separate 3 companions. If you run out of companions, then you don't. Yeah, so like if it had been just Mary and you'd pulled that 3, then it would still just separate Mary. So that would actually be really good value. I've never seen that happen before, but okay, so now Gollum is Guide. So now I guess you kind of wish you'd saved Bilbo's Song because you could play it to heal for 2. Okay, New Powers Rising. Troops moving along. Troops continue to move along. So he could use a ring and try to move here. What would be the odds of a win? The odds would be 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 7 of winning. And with the red one, you get to try again. Either the eyes would kill him. But he doesn't need to risk it because there's no way that... the Shadow's getting to 10 points this turn. And you might pick up, you know, There's Another Way or more blue tiles, or Mithril Coat and Stink next turn. Okay, mustering up in the Shire, that makes sense. Nazgul move along, mustering up more in the Shire. attacking Pelargir, cycling character card. I guess you could also argue that running now is like you could try your odds now for the 4 out of 7, because maybe they'll get worse next turn too. Maybe the Shadow will play more red tiles, or Candles of Corpses, of course. That's a lot less scary now that Golem's gone, but that's still a thing that could happen. Okay, so 1 hit for 1 hit. Yeah, and Lure of the Ring, so if he does get bounced back now, that hurts more. There and back again in Círdan's Ships. Those don't really help. I mean, it helps if it does come down to defending Dol Amroth, but I think he's definitely going to try to dunk this turn. So 1 eye allocated and 3 more rolled, so that's huge. If he'd only rolled 2 eyes, then these eyes would be lethal, and it would be 6 out of 7 for winning. But 3 eyes in there means that if the Fellowship moves without healing at all, then they're just dead. So then the question is, do you draw a card with this Will of the West first, or do you just move? Because there's a decent chance that he just picked up a red tile, and that moving first means you win. There's definitely, it's not a good idea to wait a turn, because then you're eating a corruption for free. And then you're praying that they roll literally no eyes at all next turn, which is very unlikely on 9 dice. I guess not very, very unlikely, but it's not likely anyway. So I think that's a tough choice. Either drawing a card or moving, both make sense anyway. Okay, moving Gondor to war. Yeah, no, he's a tough choice here. Okay, he decides to go for it. I think that makes sense. And it's an eye, so he dies. That feels bad. Yeah, literally 4 out of 7 odds of winning, 2 out of 7 of dying, 1 out of 7 of the game goes on. So yeah, good game. Yeah, well played to both of them. Yeah, like what Mole's saying, I thought he had it. He certainly had a great lead heading into Mordor, but yeah, 3 eyes that all did a lot of damage hurts a lot. Yeah. And then that 3 for breaking. It's crazy how these games can come down to that, just like the order in which tiles came out, Like if he'd hit that 3 instead of an eye, and then the eye got pulled for breaking instead, then I think he'd have won here. Yeah, crazy stuff. Yeah, no, again, I think a good game, well played by both players. Yeah, so Mole, congrats to Mole, who I think is a rookie, maybe not a rookie. In any case, is off to the finals to play whoever comes out of the other side of the bracket. The other side of the bracket's a ways behind, so it'll be quite a while before we are making the finals videos in the 3rd place. So I'll be curious to see if Saved by Him comes in 4th. Then I'm going to claim that my curse is contagious anyway. That if you beat me, you're probably going to get 4th anyway, because that's where I was destined to go anyway. So for my own little side quest, I'll be cheering that he gets 4th. But he's also a really good guy and a great player. So I'd also be happy to see him get 3rd. Anyway, yeah, I think that's all. No, oh no, statistics, Bob. Statistics. Okay, so it did the buggy thing where all of the dice are over here for all 191 dice. So I don't know which side had better or worse, but overall it was -5 on 6s and -5 on 5. So that's probably good news for the free peoples anyway. +6 on movement, that helps a lot, unless you run into 3 eyes that completely murder you. Yeah, pretty reasonable dice. That's like a little bit slow militarily, like with the +5 being on Cs, because that's the more inefficient result. That is still overall plus on attacks though, and he was threatening to win with a military win on turn 8, which is normally fast enough anyway. So, yeah, no, again, it's a good game. Looking forward to seeing the finals, and yeah, see you next time.